Butt live.
Fluffy Butt Live. Here to get her treats.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Fluffy Butt Show.
Lucy is not getting along with the kittens yet. So as soon as I go get the carrier of kittens, she will be growling and running. She's a little overwhelmed. But she will eat in the same room as them.
They live there too, Lucy.
They will, when she smacks them, I remind her they will grow up. All right,
I will be more older then.
I will be right back.
So hope everybody's all right out there, or even better than all right. That would be even better. That's good too. I got some questions today. Thanks for those who left on Jen's community post. I forgot to put one up, but I usually do. I'm an inquisitive person. I can find my own questions. So I have 2 whole pages, so we'll probably get to 10. You know how we do.
A lot of questions.
Yes, it is. You got anything coming up going on? I mean, I know you don't, but I mean, I ask you anyway, just because you're here. So you know how we do. We'll pop up now and again.
Yeah, I'll try to see when I'm available to see if I can go live sometime in the evenings. I was telling Johnny and Jenny backstage before we went live, Peanut hasn't been feeling well the last few days, and he took a at-home COVID test and he's testing positive for COVID. And I did not think about that before he tested himself, because I just, I thought it was allergies. So I'm hoping I don't get sick. He's not like feverish or anything like that. He's just not feeling very well. So I'm going to quarantine myself from Peanut, but it's like, considering we're married and we've been swapping spit, it's like I'm probably going to catch it sooner or later. So yeah, hopefully I don't, knock on wood. So yeah, hopefully I won't.
Oh yeah, I think we raised $5,200 for Planned Parenthood. Thank you, everybody, and Fluffy Butt time.
This is little Johnny Fortescue Tarot.
Tarot. And
his nickname for Fortescue is Stewie, 2-eyed Stewie cat. And he is a lover boy. He is so sweet and lover boy.
He's very relaxed.
You can hold him or do anything you want with him. And he is a chow hound. I was telling Johnny, if he had man boobs, he'd be stashing Kit Kats. He is a chow hound. And just so sweet. I swear, I think he's already reincarnated. I'm surprised it already came back this fast, but he loves to be held. But show your little face. He's got kind of a wedge head and almond eyes.
He's so precious. Hi, Stewie. Little Johnny Stewie.
Little Stewie. See, I wanted to name them Becca and Johnny, but I was telling Becca and Johnny, you don't want to hear me yelling on camera all the time. Becca, Johnny, Becca.
Get down from there.
It's like, what I do?
Oh, Lord. Now you got 3 cats to run across your table while you're trying to read another day.
Because Lucy wasn't enough.
Pardon me, I'm having a carrier malfunction.
Oh no.
Lucy rigged it. She don't want you to let him out. She's so rude, I told you.
And Lucy used to be sweet, now she's an apple.
This is little Becca Bellatrix Lenormand.
Hi,
and as you can hear, Lucy's on the floor at the carrier growling at him.
She's
and
so precious.
She is so little bubblegum pink nose. I don't know if you can see how pink her nose is. She's squirmy. She's on the go. She's got things to do, and very curious, very inquisitive.
Oh, she's just precious.
They're so soft. They're 3 months old, and they're just so soft.
They ain't paying Lucy no mind.
Little Becca Bellatrix is like, let me go play. She's going to be trouble.
Especially with 4 of them now.
Well, one of them is grown.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just wondering if Lucy's going to turn more into an a-hole.
She is the crocodile hunter, so I mean, you know. She did.
And this is little Aurora Beatha Kipper. And she's about as sweet as they get, very playful, likes to be held a little bit more than the little Becca Bellatrix, but very inquisitive and very sweet. She's the first one that comes running when I go in the room. They're loose upstairs. I haven't let them loose downstairs yet. But she's got cute little spots on her belly and very, very sweet. And so
Do they
I
all
call
have
her
blue eyes?
Aurora, but Roro for short.
Jenny, do they all have blue eyes, or does it just
No,
look like that on camera?
Aurora, Roro here, and Stewie have more greenish eyes, and little Bellatrixes look a little more yellowish, goldy, slightly green.
Hey, Roro.
She's just chill. She's not squirmy at all. Little Bellatrix is squirmy.
She wants to see. Very curious.
She's cute. So that's the new family. I'm going to take them back upstairs so they can run loose. And so Lucy quits growling at them.
I mean,
She was waiting for the day that she sends us a picture of the whole room turned upside down because the kittens just went nuts.
I'm telling
Like a tornado.
It's hard enough with one, and then you try to read, and then they're all running across the table at the same time. Especially when they start chasing each other. Yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm. I told Jenny, I said, put that crap on, girl. Record it. So.
The ultimate distraction. I have a few petty questions, and then a few questions that I'm going to turn into petty questions. So y'all out there, just y'all know how this works. Just sit and relax. Don't take it so seriously.
Like Johnny says, we're not news anchors.
No. Somebody told me about my camera work or something that I needed to do something with the camera, and I don't know. I did just deleted your comment because I'm a regular person just like you. I don't have professional studio equipment, and I ain't buying none either, just for no YouTube video. So it is not that serious. But I recorded a bunch of videos today or yesterday, actually, or whatever day, I don't know. They're all running together now. And the Friday streams and the Sunday streams, I won't be on for a while until I get some other things settled. So it'll be Jen and Becca and then whoever else. And then on the Friday streams, it'll be Adrian, Sienna, Tony, and if they want somebody else, they'll get somebody else. But so that's what it'll be like. I know my camera is just fine. Thank you, Marie. Exactly. It'll be fine. I get it, though. You know, when you watch something, you want it to be exactly the way you want it to be. I do get it. So, I mean, where am I moving to? Nowhere for right now. There, okay, whoring time.
Forgot.
Nowhere for right now. So I'll be here.
So tomorrow, all the glass ornaments are coming off this.
I was saying, because once you let them out of that room, you're gonna have kitties in that tree, and that tree's gonna go whoop.
Yeah, it's like, the little stuffed ornaments and stuff, fine, but all the glass has to come off. There's a lot of glass on this tree.
Speaking of which, you've had that tree up for what, going on 3 years now?
2.5, yeah.
Leave it up.
Year round?
Take it down for what?
I mean, now we're in July already.
I mean, who's it bothering?
Little Johnny
Not me.
Fortescue is going to be a total lap cat. He's just like, he sat here while I was struggling with the carrier and just sat here like, okay. Very chill. They're all so gentle. Like when they play, they don't claw at you or anything. Very gentle how they play, but they do leap pretty far. So
they're happy to be there.
Yeah.
You can tell. Lucy, she'll come around.
She'll come. Yeah, it amazes me because I had 6 adult cats when I brought Lucy in, and introducing an adult cat to other adult cats is very hard. And she took to them like no problem, and they took to her. I don't know why she's having a problem with sweet little innocent kittens.
Territory, I guess.
Yeah.
And they're not her kids, so there's no bond, but she'll get used to it.
She'll get used to them. I've got to leave them upstairs, till probably Thursday or Friday, and then I might start letting them out down here. But I want to make sure they're getting along with her okay before I let them out downstairs.
Johnny, can I say a thank you to someone? Because I don't, I'm not sure where else to post it. I wanted to say thank you to Kay Lowell, for the Amazon stuff from my wish list that you sent. So thank you so very much. She sent like these really cool little fairy lights, and it comes with a remote. So I can sit there and
change colors. I'm
not sure. I think it might. So it's gonna be like a disco in here. So thank you.
Big thank you to all the donors for the Planned Parenthood fundraiser. We've raised over $52.64, I think it was last time I checked.
Thank you so very much.
The donate button is still active. It's on House of Lenormand channel if you want to check out that video.
And that was very fun. Thank you to Lena and Adrian and Lori and Ona for coming to join us too. That was fun.
It was fun.
I need to. I got the email from S Walker 1061. I will be mailing out your shirt on Monday because it's post office closed today. I have not received an email from Rolanda Baker. However,
we'll track her. I mean, she's always in here, and I think we do have her email address, so we'll track her.
Yeah. So, Rolanda, if you're out there, I need an email from you with your address so I can send out your T-shirt. Or if you don't want it, just let me know, and I'll do another giveaway.
I've got her email and phone number, so I can text her.
Perfect. Wonderful.
Okay. I was going to try to transition, but let's just go straight to petty for right. You know what? I was gonna do never mind. We'll go to petty. I was gonna go from fluffy butt to animal questions, but actually let's go to petty for just a second.
Okay.
Lauren Bobert's restaurant, Shooters, is closing. And it's called Milk and Enterprise. Those are the landlords. And they said they're not renewing her contracts and things. So there's nothing she could do, she said, and her campaign office apparently is next door to her restaurant, so that's closing too. So is this politically motivated? They said it was not. There's Roland. Roland, email Becca for your shirt, or if you don't want it, just let her know that too. That way she can do another giveaway, or we can do it today or whatever. So is it politically motivated or something else?
Didn't get to renew her lease. And didn't she take some loan money during COVID for her restaurant? I think she did.
She took a whole bunch of stuff for her. Yes. Oh, wait, my brand is off. There we go.
Hey, Lori.
I mean, not that you don't know who we are, but I want to see that.
The kitten stampede's going on overhead on the hardwood floor. So if you hear, there's a little kitten stampede. They're running up and down the hall.
They're happy to be there.
Usually kittens creep around so cautiously, like scared, but they're just like, hey, what's in this room? Let's go over here.
They were meant to be yours then. Becca, what you get?
I got the cross, the mountain, and the letter. This has to do with the results of some sort of obstruction or delay of the results. So I'm thinking, yes, her role, even though it hasn't been there, it's speculation at this point, but it's what am I trying to say? Well, educated speculation that she was involved in the insurrection. That's what I'm getting. Something painful, suffering, sacrifices, delays, and then the results of the. So I would say yes, mostly because of her role in that, or her participation in it.
I'm getting the same thing. They're passing judgment on her for actions that she has taken and turning their back on her. The money is there. Like there's all this money and everything, but it's her legacy that's causing them to kick her out. They've been watching and waiting for just the right time. And I get, big yes on yes, politically motivated. Let's kick her out, kick her to the curb. It's who she partnered with in the government, and they want to change and try to heal the building, literally. Lots of sage, people, lots of sage.
Becca, did you say where you got your t-shirts from? Somebody at Cold Toast asked in the chat.
Oh, it was on Etsy. I just typed in, F the patriarchy, and there's a bunch of t-shirts and all sorts of stuff.
If you just type in Roe v. Wade, a whole bunch of shirts will come up, period. That's how I got this one, and a whole bunch of just pop up. I get 2 of Pentacles and the 10 of Wands. So there was a burden, and they were trying to balance something. I think the lease part comes into play, but they planned on this a while ago when she first got her notoriety. The Moon and the 4 of Cups, there's something that is obscured because, of course, they're saying this is not politically motivated. This is just we're moving on with something else. We're choosing different options, blah, blah, blah. But this says, yeah, there is something else behind that. The 4 of Cups also trying to move on, whether they liked it or not. So Queen of Swords, Justice. There's also there's something or someone else that they're possibly trying to move in here too. So they had no intentions on going forward with her. I mean, because why would you? Because she's not good for the state, and they see that and don't want to do business with her. I mean, mind you, it's not like she's delinquent or something. So it's got to be just you.
Her restaurant. Is it true that the workers, the staff, walk around with loaded weapons?
I believe so. Because it's called Shooters. It's kind of like the other 2 restaurants with the gimmick names. It's
It's what you need.
But they walk around
at the bar with loaded guns.
I mean, surely they wouldn't be loaded. I mean, you wouldn't think. What if one of them fail or something?
What if there's an accident?
I mean, ooh, that's not funny. What if somebody pulled the stewie and was like, they fail and it just blasted off and like knocked the light out or something?
Please let it be Lauren if that's going to happen. I'd like to see a one-eyed Lauren mover.
Peggy's saying that, yeah, they're loaded. They're loaded.
Why?
Okay.
And anybody can come up and grab it out of your holster or whatever you're carrying it in.
I mean, match gas leak. I mean, that's just
guns and alcohol go together so well. That's why the Wild West didn't last.
Like Johnny said, one-eyed Stewie, you're going to have a Stuart Rhodes situation. I'm surprised they haven't yet.
So I'm a little more petty. There's a pastor loosely put, he is a horrible person, named Greg Locke.
In Tennessee.
Yes, he had a bunch of brooms on the stage and was calling out the witches in his congregation, saying, "Come get you a broom and fly out of here."
It's like everybody take a broom to your
God. So
Sunday sermon.
I want to know, because mind you, this is not the first time. Apparently he is being a little obsessive about the whole witches thing. Is he afraid of witches right now? What in his mind you, take your thoughts of what you believe a witch to be and put yourself, if you can, just for a moment, in their situation, in their shoes, and what they think a witch might be. Is he afraid of that?
He is just a horrible person. I think he says a lot of things just to sound,
What is his name?
Everybody up.
Greg Locke, Locke.
Is he afraid of witches?
Because why? You ain't got nothing else to preach on. Lord.
He's just trying to temper women, put them in their place, and trying to rile people up, and he does this steadily. So anything new he can do to try to turn back the time on women, that's what he's going to do. It's all image. It's what he's been doing for a long time, and he feels like he's a celebrity, like he gets attention for doing it.
So stupid.
So I get my first card, broom and whip. Funny. Brooms. So there's the broom and whip. That's I know we refer to it as whip, but it's traditionally broom and whip. The moon and the coffin. Is he afraid of witches? No, this is all marketing to shut something down. Like just but the marketing itself, the celebrity, the fame that he's trying to get out of it doesn't come. Do you see what I'm saying? Is he afraid of witches? No, it's just a ploy.
He probably, tries to act like all women are witches that aren't married and going to church.
Because I mean, this might take us back to 1692 Salem and start just burning women at the stake at this point.
I mean, you don't want to go too far because they persecuted Christians too. So this is why I say there is no such thing as them. Everybody was that person at one point. Ace of Cups and the Four of Pentacles. I'm going to say yes, because he believes that someone has put a curse on him before. With the Five of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands, there's your broom there. He wants somebody out of the church. I think this was not necessarily, yes, this is him targeting someone in his church, if you ask me.
He's always, calling out the devil and all the people that are possessed and stuff too. It's like, oh my God, dude.
So, okay. Representative Mike Johnson. He is a representative from California, I believe, LA or something like that. I forget. He is wanting to introduce a bill called the Unborn Child Support Act, where a mother, now mind you, he's a Republican, where a mother can claim child support for the unborn child. So will this pick up any steam? Or
Yeah, they should start having to pay child support at conception if that's the way it's going to be, because they got a lot of medical bills to get the baby born.
Yes, they do.
You should be able to write that off on your taxes too. If you're gonna, I mean, if we're gonna say conception is now a life, I mean, might as well. Might as well.
I gotta feed it. I gotta water it. I gotta walk it. I just.
And mind you, you know, I say this as a person that's never been pregnant, nor do I intend to ever have children. But in my brain, the way I think about it, having a child, carrying a child to term, it's like basically having a parasite. I mean, they feed off you. You know,
takes everything from your blood. It's a parasite.
Will it pick up steam?
You know, I get like the greedy Republicans put him up to this to get some attention, like going into midterms kind of thing. You know, put some illumination on this and act like we're defending, you know, women's rights kind of crap. So there's a lot of just rhetoric in this. Gab. I get it gets blocked initially and made smaller. Not sure what's going to be taken out of it, but I get it goes forward again and there's support for it. No, he's going to regret it because it's going to open a whole can of worms into something new.
Yeah, like the Republicans were forcing you to have kids, but those are the same people that are trying to cut all programs for children, like school lunches for underprivileged families, where some kids, that's the only meals they get a day, breakfast and lunch. They don't even want to do that. I get it gets blocked or whatever. It doesn't, there's a blockage delay. Mm-mm.
I get there's just a greed aspect to this, trying to hold on possibly to votes or something of that nature. The Fool and the Four of Cups, this is not something they want to do. They feel they need to do it because of the climate we're in right now. So this is something new to them. Because mind you, had the Roe v. Wade, not all that stuff been happening, they wouldn't have come up with this. Like this is pandering. Because mind you, we're going to protect the life and you have to have the baby. So we can also appease a little bit and say, well, since she is pregnant and we're all forcing her, then you have to pay child support. Okay. Now, mind you, that's a one-sided affair because the man can't get pregnant. What if he's the one that wants the baby and she doesn't? But they don't really take that into account because, again, pandering. And so here in the word of warning is the Ace of Swords, so no victory there. The word of solace, however, is the Ten of Cups. So there will be some support for this. He will kind of gain some of the notoriety, I guess, for it, since that's the goal anyway. But the Two of Wands is open-ended, which means no success, really. This is not really something they want anyway. It's just political pandering. Devil don't lie. Pops up for a reason. Come get your kids, please. Okay. January 6th commission hearings are going to take place also in September. What effect will that have on the midterms? if any.
GOP government ordered pregnancy. That's right, Peggy. They claim they're getting people coming forward every day, new information. So I'm betting they'll spring up something in August, even though they're taking a break in August.
You got to keep that momentum. At least I would think you would. Strategy-wise, I would.
Yeah, I get all the illumination. It's going to affect a lot of indecisive voters, the independents, the indecisives, the ones that go either way. It's going to affect them a lot. And they've got regrets about who they voted for in the past, and they are moving on with their votes. So yeah, it's gonna hit those really, really hard. So anybody that regrets voting for GOP and Trumpsters and stuff in the past, they're going to move on. They're going to break with that. It's like a lot of judgment out there. I also get there may be some indictments coming out of this before midterms. Something's going to court before midterms, or arrests are being made before midterms.
That sounds fun. I get that it's going to clear up a lot of the gaslighting, a lot of the manipulation, and perhaps the gaslighting. Oh, it was Antifa. No, it was Black Lives Matter. No, those weren't. They were just tourists. That, you know what I'm saying? It clears it all up, and it also shows the agreements that were made, that people were working together to manipulate everything. But it results in a great deal of success. So whoever was confused or wasn't clear on the issues, it gets resolved through the work of the committee, and it shows who was involved in that sort of manipulative agreement, and it brings a lot of success. So I'm assuming that would be for the Dems, so certainly not the Republicans when it was an entire GOP strategy,
I get there is some woman here who is going to come out sort of a star in this. So I don't know who she is exactly. I keep getting the Queen of Wands also for, not that this is the exact same person because ain't no name at the bottom of here, as a person who may be a GOP VP candidate too. So I don't know if there's this person is the same person, but somebody's going to come out with a lot of steam and a lot of momentum come the midterms. Some woman here, she'll be sort of heralded as a star. The Six of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles, there's also a lot more information financially speaking that is also going to come out as far as like partnerships and things go. Both of these can be considered my money laundering thing. So there's also a lot of money that passed through a lot of hands. So there's a lot of that kind of information coming out as well. And then a lot of exposure with the Tower and then the Temperance. There's also some healing after that too. So it's kind of like there's a lot of disappointment for someone, and I'm pretty sure it's not on our side. So there's a lot of disappointment and then a lot of healing and a lot of trying to get back on track after that. And word of warning is the Seven of Cups. A lot of people with a lot of thoughts, a lot of decisions, a lot of this type of behavior, because that's why these pop up in the first place with the Temperance and the Star, is because this is kind of what leads to this or should lead to that. That way you can get better. But there's some success and a lot of illumination. There's going to be some things that are broken open. And mind you, I have to merit Garland, as most of us kind of bash over the head for the speed and the seeming lack of investigations and indictments and this and that. He did say, and this is the truth, or what should be the truth, we don't do investigations in public. And so just because we don't see him out passing out indictments like, Girl Scout cookies, doesn't mean they're not doing anything.
He also said no one is above the law. And I was like, that's right.
So that leads me to I read this one already, so I'm going to do it again here, though. Was that rhetoric, or does he actually stand by that? Was he just saying that to say it, to just answer the question? Are you going to prosecute Donald Trump if need be?
Persecute will be Becca's job.
Slip of the tongue, I'm sure it was. But are you going, I was about to say it again, are you going to prosecute Donald Trump if need be? And he said no one is above the law. That wasn't yes or no, but he said no one is above the law. So was he just saying that out of rhetoric, or does he actually mean that? And we'll stand by that no one, including an ex-president, or their president anyway, is above the law. Thank you, Terry.
I get he's moving to calmer waters, but he's that's progressing forward. So he's already got an abundance of stuff. I'm getting like there'll be an abundance of indictments. I mean, he's got people on seditious conspiracy, which I'd like to know if he's going to charge anybody in Trump's administration with seditious conspiracy. He's just working in secret. His plan's already off the ground. He has that nostalgic, little bit old-fashioned, follow the law. I get that there's a lot of options in the investigations, like a lot of areas they're having to look at. There's a lot of treachery and stuff. It's heartbreaking, but I get the devil's going to get an indictment. And he's just disciplined and determined. He wants to appear independent, not political. And he's trying to be watchful of what he says because he wants to bring healing to the country. But I think I get the devil will get something.
I don't get Garland per se because he's just the figurehead. He runs the DOJ. I'm getting more of there's a very strong woman that is working on this currently. So I don't know who that is. You get that too? I don't know who that is. I don't know if it's someone below him or there's a woman that's working on this and she's working very, very hard. There's an entire team dedicated to this thing and they're very, very passionate. So was he being honest? Yes, but it looks like it's more this woman that's given the details to work out. That's building the case, if that makes sense. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. What were you saying, Jenny? Or what were you gonna say?
There, he's got like 3 women under him in 3 of the main positions under him. I forget which one is assigned to this case, but he's expanded the staff recently. We know they already have a grand jury also, but they have recently gotten budget approval to expand the staff to help them with the investigation because it's massive.
So Yeah, I don't know which one it is because I just see woman. So it's a very powerful woman that's working on it. She's extremely smart, very resourceful. She's got a financial resources as well with Bear and Fox for
Lisa
the job.
Monaco. Thank you, Daria. Or Darla.
Who is it?
Lisa Monaco.
Lisa Monaco. Well, she's the one that's very passionate, and she has an entire team. They're working on the details. So it's not really him that I'm seeing. It's a woman that's doing the work.
Yeah. The woman it's not the woman in Georgia because she's in Georgia. It's
not the Georgia DA.
It's directly under DOJ.
There's a woman in DOJ that's working on it, or maybe it's a team of women because women mirrored mice, so that could be a team of women. But it's also a team that are working together. So, you know.
So I get the same thing pretty much, that yes, no one is above the law, but do not expect him to be the Perry Mason in the court actually persecuting Donald Trump. There is the 10 of Wands, so he's bogged down with other things. He has to delegate. He's the head of the DOJ. He's not the personal lawyer to, blah, blah, blah. Then there is the King of Swords and then the 9 of Wands. So yes, there would be pressure here. Immense pressure, but it's like passed off to people. Like I said, delegation. The 6 of Pentacles is sharing something, giving something out. And then it's to this woman here with the Queen of Wands. And so it goes to somebody else, and it's kind of her job to follow through. Now, this is the person that the eyes would be on. So it's not necessarily a Merrick Garland is not doing his job. He's doing his job by delegation. And so he's not necessarily the one who needs to drive it home to Donald Trump or stick it to him or whatever. It's not that type of thing. So it's going to be in somebody else's hands, whether it's a man or a woman, because this is just judges for me, but I think it is a woman indeed. So Jen's question, will anybody from his administration be charged with sedition or seditious conspiracy?
Anybody in his administration, whether it's Mark Meadows or Ornato or anybody. I say yes. I say yes. They're going to secure something. It's like all the shared information. Surprise, they didn't get to finish their thievery, thank God, right? But that's what they're investigating. So they're looking at. They're working together and they're looking at who was collaborating together on this. And I get tower moment for these guys. I get there's going to be another whistleblower coming out too in the Republicans, and I get victory card on this that they're gonna go after and charge some people. I think it's going to be multiple because I'm getting the strength card here, burden the crap out of them, and people in the White House. Yep.
God damn
it. Do it.
I also get a yes. They're building a very solid case. It's not going anywhere. And they're also perhaps growing the case as well for the people that were in agreement to achieve something. This is not exactly going to be very fast. This is a slow card. This is a slow card. So I wouldn't anticipate next month, next week, 2 weeks from now. Like this might be a while. But I would say yes, and it could be someone within like the organizational chart. Am I making sense? So not just the administration, but like if there was an organizational chart, like you report to this person, and this, that we're all in agreement. Yes. So that's what I get.
I get yes too. There's the 6 of Pentacles and the Devil. Naturally, talk about his children, he shall show up. So there is someone getting something here because of their evil deeds and evil doing. I think, though, with the 6 of Cups and the Moon, this is someone who was either pardoned for something else or declared innocent of something at some point. So there's something coming back around the mountain for whoever that is, because they weren't pardoned for the right thing. There is the 8 of Swords, the Knight of Wands. So this is a futuristic thing. So you have to wait at least a year for this. And then there's the Strength card, which is the weirdest strength card I've ever seen. Who was it? Oh, Jesus, Christian. Who was going to rip the baby in half? Was it Solomon?
Yeah. Wasn't it the one that was going to cut the baby? Yeah.
And so there's this person in this card. This is the Strength card. Was going to rip the baby and throw it in the fire. So,
oh man, would it be Baby Trump?
It just makes me wonder.
Somebody's going to get punished. I don't know.
Because we said the administration, his administration. So in my thinking, it doesn't include Roger Stone, Rudy Giuliani, Steve Bannon. It was someone that worked in his administration with John. Saying someone that was previously pardoned or found innocent in some way. I'm wondering, because that really narrows it down to like a Michael Flynn.
It's somebody that we believe, because I mean, mind you, people who worked in his administration, like he was going to federalize the Goofy Boys, so the Proud Boys. So they were technically going to be working for him too. So it's not that we knew that they were in the administration, but a lot of people were being paid for things that.
Well, he started out in the administration until he got fired.
Yeah. So, okay. Rupert Murdoch? Yeah, Rupert Murdoch is dumping Donald Trump. Is that significant? Does it even matter at all? That seems like a big loss, but is it at all? He said he is unworthy to be the commander-in-chief. So not just dumping him, he threw a little jab in there too.
It's like now you say, the insurrection was 1.5 years ago for entertainment purposes, only YouTube. 1.5 years ago, you've had all this time. You could have said, oh, sorry, we made a mistake. This is wrong. It took you 1.5 years. Well, he is in his 90s. Maybe he has a little dementia.
Yes. Because he definitely don't have a change of heart.
Something must be affecting his pocketbook, like advertisers.
And Trump's a loser, and they know he's going to lose again. So it's like, what do you do?
They just cashed in on that cow when they could, and when they couldn't make it, like flicking off like a flea.
He's not useful anymore.
No, considering you all got yourselves a bunch of lawsuits, like
millions
of dollars worth of lawsuits.
Not only are you not useful, but now you're costing me actual money. I gotta pay for lawyers.
Goodness. He worked with Trump on the votes. He's behind that, trying to get trying to hang on to the Republican leader. That's his legacy. Everybody knows he hung on to him through the election and everything. So there's a bond, there's a commitment there that he had, and we all know it. So showing dissatisfaction now, it's like, wah, let me get my little violin out, probably have some news reporters that'll get called into the January 6th committee for texting with Mark Meadows and stuff. He would like to market someone else for the White House, and move on, move forward, move on. This is planned. I'm looking at it differently This is premeditated. I'm looking at it differently now. Yeah, we know who you are, Rupert.
Yeah.
I don't get so much Rupert Murdoch as I do some woman. But yeah, they're to the question, is it significant? Yes, there's some sort of a corporate woman or a legal woman here that may be advising them that this is their best choice, or it's a good option, or it's a risk. But I don't get so much Rupert as I do a woman, so I don't know if they're being advised to or what. But yeah, it's significant.
I get so here's the King of Swords and the Ten of Pentacles. Yes, it's actually a big deal. As far as like structural money goes, like the Coke and the Alden people. But there's a woman here, Queen of Cups, the Six of Wands, and the Knight of Cups, that they are trying to uplift somehow or another. I don't know exactly who, or maybe this person just has the image changing, because it's the Knight of Cups here too is about image as well. So maybe she has the formula for the new image, or maybe she's the person that's going to be targeted for the image. Word of warning is the Five of Wands, so much conflict will ensue, because you don't talk about old orange one without him punching back. So we shall see what happens there. But yes, this will be significant.
They're getting so fragmented in the Republican Party. Can we ask, in 2023, what is their image?
Yeah. Guns, Bibles, and babies.
Jesus would have carried a gun. We all know that.
Mm-hmm. What is their image?
Anxiety. Anxious about everything. They've got regrets about the nostalgia thing, going back to the 1800s or wherever, however far back they're trying to take us. But they're trying to work up some new message of hope. Thank you, Cold Toes. They're trying to work up some new message of hope, and abandoning some of their other ideas. So they may go a little bit quieter for a little bit, but I get they're going to try to push that authoritarian through for 2024. They're going to try to push that leader through, because that's their only plan, is to work with the devil. And I get they're gonna keep doing things to try to end women's rights here and laws that protect women and stuff. And it's all just messaging for the White House. So whoever they're going to try to nominate to go into the White House. And I think a lot of this is because they're going to lose a lot in the midterms.
I get that they're going to try to perhaps image themselves after the court and laws. Perhaps something around marriages as well. I don't get family values. I get the courts and marriages here. So now that they've taken away women's rights, maybe they'll go after because this card right here, even though it talks about a split, but it also, in regards to affairs, even though the ring sits far, you could also interpret this as homosexuals, bisexuality, transgenders. Do you see what I'm saying? So their image is to keep pounding on the issues around marriage and hoping to be successful there with people's choices.
I
But
wish to.
it's still fractured. The party is still split here at the end.
I hope to God, while Clarence Thomas is still on the Supreme Court, somebody puts through try to turn around interracial marriages, because I think that would be so damn funny.
Yeah, and it's like what at that point you can't. The hypocrisy is blatant. What are you going to do? Carve an exception to the law in your dissertation, like, oh, except for me, Clarence Thomas, and then have a list of people that are allowed to have interracial marriages?
Because interracial is, to me, no different than, gay marriage or anything else. It's like, who we marry and who we love.
Human rights.
I hope to God somebody presents that before he's off the court.
I get the Law and Order Party, but that's not Law and Order. There's the Five of Wands, so they're still fighting with each other. Party. Mm-hmm. Especially if the midterms doesn't go their way, they're going to be doing a lot of fighting and a lot of blaming and that sort of thing. Eat each other, why don't you? Barbecue.
Here's my next question, though. With all of these states that have regressed on women's reproductive rights, they're about to have enough legal issues themselves, with all this stuff that's coming out, because their laws are so dogmatic and cruel that it's like it's only a matter of time before the lawsuits and everything else start coming for, so it's like they're only creating themselves more problems. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and Clarence Thomas better be careful, because he's about to vote himself into being a third of a person if he keeps doing what he's doing,
So my next question is, how is Fox News now going to start covering Donald Trump? Because if McConnell is coming out blatantly saying, there's other options, he's not a shoe-in, and then Murdoch is saying, you know what, he's not worthy of being president. How is Fox News going to handle this now?
All these light bulb moments. Yeah, OAN has a lady newscaster that's in trouble because they have documented emails that she's on. She was involved in the fake electorate scam. And OAN, they're probably going off air because Verizon's not renewing their contract. Mm-hmm. These news people better learn to report the news and stay out of the politics. We're taking money on the side. Oh, we just learned something new about Trump today. It's like it's going to be the Great American Juggling Act because there's just an abundance of illumination. They have no choice but to walk away from him. No choice. So I get splitting from him. trying to find someone that's more secure, more stable, that they can shine a light on, and that still has the celebrity appeal. But yeah, they're done. They're done with them. Completion end. Let's start over.
Not Happy Meal, Charles.
Damn those Happy Meals.
Not Happy Meal.
I get that they're no longer happy, and they're just going to move away, change it. It may be small changes at first. Perhaps the funding here becomes small and they're looking to increase, perhaps with advertisers or whatever, but it's small changes. So where before they, for years, oh, he's innocent, this is a witch hunt, basically parroting what Donald Trump was saying, flipping the script on his innocence, but slow introductions of the truth, if that makes sense. You know, because you just gaslit your audience for 4 years. You can't just flip the switch. Oh, we lied, you know. So yeah.
They're going to talk about Biden and some sort of law. They're going to say he's breaking or abusing of power or something of that nature. I mean, maybe it's the tan suit brigade all over again, because it's something that's not actually, it's not real. I mean, it's Fox News, of course it's not. So it's not an actual thing that, you know, he needs to be sued and investigated and all that type of stuff. It's a smokescreen. It's a distraction. But eventually, here in the environment is the Page of Wands. And then in the word of solace, the good news is the Tower, which means they're going to have to stick to script, because this is the last card, the Four of Pentacles. So when they get the new script, they will stick to it. Right now, it's all about Biden. They're sort of going to try to shift away from the DOJ and the hearings and all of that and just talk about Biden, especially with the midterms coming and all that. But the crap will hit the fan for Donald Trump when whoever is behind their rhetoric pulls the trigger and says, all right, go full force. Because the word of warning is the Three of Cups. This is the Fox and Friends and all those people over there. So once they get the word that it is now okay to trash Donald Trump, they're going to do so. Yeah. Which brings me to my, go ahead.
I mean, they're like, you know, Hillary's emails, Hillary's emails, and yet they don't care about all the Secret Service texts and emails that disappeared.
Yeah, or all the emails and paper that stupid fool ate. I mean, so it's, you know, it's
all the texts and emails that have come out from everybody in his administration showing the plan. Like,
nobody said that Hillary Clinton was sitting at the table with a knife and fork eating her emails, and yet and then here you go with Marmaduke over there in Mar-a-Lago sitting there eating paper. Like, get out of here. Anyway, I can't. That's their president, though. You go right ahead. Will the MAGA people support a non-Trump endorsed candidate should the GOP present one? Because that's what most of them were afraid of, was the base, they kept saying. So will they support a candidate who is not Trump endorsed?
Because that base tried to kill the VP on January 6th.
But if the GOP can wave the magic wand and say, look, Trump is actually a horrible person, believe us again, and then maybe they'll turn the mob. We'll see.
You know, their voting's going to be fractured. I get, yes, they would if the Republicans are all on the same page. You know, so as they transfer into someone else that they're supporting, if they're all on the same page. But if you get fractured Republicans, like somebody's behind the Satan and the other somebody else is behind whoever else is running, then I get a no, because the votes will just be all over the place. They'll be fractured. So if they don't get behind one person and stick to it, they're in trouble.
I get, yes, they would accept a non-Trump endorsed candidate. They would, in abundance. So it would have to be someone that appeals to their whatever you want to call it, because
Racist, bigoted, misogynistic.
uneducated, misogynistic, racist, bigoted, all of it. And they would, but it would have to be in large numbers. Also, perhaps a person that, yes, they would. So.
I get, yes. Now, mind you, these two people, I asked in a video I recorded, who would be, I was trying to find out who were going to be the candidates for the red team and then the blue team. And these same exact two people came up for the red team. And so there is somebody that they are going to present. These people are new. Not necessarily a man and a woman, but it could just be a team, but it could be a man and a woman as well, because, you know, that's one of those things that Republicans think makes them progressive, because they have a female candidate, even though the last one they picked was just basically a talking puppet. So the Four of Swords and the Three of Wands, though, they do need somebody to stand up and sort of back this. This may be Donald Trump himself. Like, mind you, somehow or another, there's somebody in his sphere, because they got him on record or on talking points at some point during his presidency a couple times. Especially when he didn't know who Mike Pence was, but Mike Pence is the conservative Christian white man, so he was good for the image, so you had to back him up, so they got him on board. And so it would be kind of the same thing to where, okay, you need to go out and campaign for this person or something of that nature, but that's not necessarily going to be necessary, because I think the engine is already turning to turn on Donald Trump, because they know he cannot beat Joe Biden. So these new people, that's it. Yeah.
And poor Pence, when he's campaigning and debating for Trump, all he did was turn himself into human flypaper.
I got a question on him, though, from, I think it was from the community thing. Why did he, no, I got it from the MSNBC, I think. I forget. It doesn't matter. Why is he not mentioning they tried to kill him? Why is he not mentioning that? Especially if he's out there campaigning for people.
He's letting his aides when they testify to the January 6th committee, but he's not. I'd be out there, vote for me because they tried to kill me.
Yeah. Especially if the engine is turning against Donald Trump, and then you got George Bush's and people trying to save the party. This was the greatest way to do it. Hey, I was the vice president of the United States. I stood by him. I was loyal to a fault. Mind you, he could not overturn the election, as he was the figurehead. All he does is stamp the election. He can't overturn nothing. So why are you trying to kill me exactly? I was loyal to you. I didn't do the 25th as all the people wanted me to do. And, you know, I gave up my spine for you. Why is he not mentioning it? Then Josh Hawley doing the running, man.
Ass and elbows.
What's he scared by? These real people.
And then ass and elbows.
Like, oh crap! I didn't think they were actually going to come in here. Oh yeah, they did.
It's all image for the votes, because he's appealing to the Trump base, trying to move on from Trump. But he's got a lot of secrets that would make Trump very anxious. So it's intentional manipulation to not do that. He's trying to get his own celebrity status kind of going. He's got more information that may come out. There may be a few more surprises that start coming out. that may force him to speak.
So why is he not talking about once people wanting to kill him? Well, there's pens he presented all by himself. He desires something very important and significant to gain access to, and that would be cut off. So it's either he's not willing to make that sacrifice and lose something, but there's something here that he's very passionate about achieving and getting access to. And then man, he and Scythe, his access would be cut off, and then he would suffer significantly here. So I don't know if he doesn't want to cut off his religious base or the MAGA crowd or what, but it's like, I don't get cards that he's been threatened, like he's afraid or anything like that at all. I don't. I just see him not wanting to lose access to something that he really, really wants. So
I get the 10 of Swords in religion too. But there's some sort of here with the Justice and the 7 of Cups. There is something about saying it, but it's going to be from multiple sources. So like Jen probably said that it's probably the aides or something else. It's not from him directly. I'm still asking, why didn't he say it? The 6 of Wands and the 7 of Swords, it was a scheme. It was a scam. It was a sham. But at the same time, nothing happened to him. And so it's easier to not say it. You can deny, or you can be strategic with it. With the 7 of Swords is also a strategy, and say, well, we're going to put this out there at the right time. Mike Pence is a floppy fish. Like he just don't expect anything out of him other than that. Like he right now is still probably a target of the MAGA people. They were not coming to play tic-tac-toe with you and listen to your old stories about your days in the military. Like they had zip ties and string and twine and all this other kind of stuff for you.
they had a gallows, John. They had a
the
gallows.
gallows.
They
They
did that
They
for
had
you.
additional weapons in their hotel rooms that they could have gone back for if they needed them.
If you build it, they will come. Okay, I want to ask, we'll get off of the gross people for just a second. If y'all could do a reading on Fetterman. And is there anything troubling coming his way, is what I want to know. Is there any troubling news or stories or something of that nature?
He's running against a woman, right?
Oz.
Oh,
He's
that's
running
right.
from Oz.
That's right, Oz. The Quackanon woman lost to Oz.
I did a reading for him. I recorded it. A woman came up too.
You know, it's crazy because he's got this winning at all cost. Got people working with him, working for him. For the votes and everything, and the money's coming in, and they love him. But he's somehow got Dark Night of the Soul at the root of this, like something that he needs to watch out for. I do get he's got an abundance of support, and he will probably win this. Because I get the celebration card, but I'm getting something about a woman he's going to regret. That is going to be tower moment and a lot of light shown on it. So
I wonder
I
if there's a woman.
don't know that it's in a sexual way. I think it may be more money related. Like took some money on the side from, unless he paid somebody for sex. But I didn't have the lovers down there, so I don't think it's sexual related.
I just get that his health is improving. There's an opportunity or a positive change to his health. It improves.
Which is
I
what he
asked,
needs.
yeah, I asked if there's any concerning information that comes out for Fetterman before the elections, and all I'm getting is that there's an opportunity for his health to improve. So
Because
if
they
there's
did want to
anything,
use it against him too, so that's good.
yeah, so if there's anything that comes out against him, like, oh, he just had a stroke, no, it shows that his health improves. So,
So the reading I did show that things were going good, but there is a person that was in the Word of Wands, like a Queen of Wands or something like that. And there is a woman who's going to tell a story. She may have been paid to tell this story about them two, either together or doing something together. So that's why I wanted to know what y'all got to.
Yeah.
He's got this woman is coming forward with some sort of story. It's a concoction is what I get though. So it's not.
Yeah, I had the illusion card, so it's like what you call it, 7 of Cups, illusion thing. So whatever it is, it's probably not true.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
They just make up anything to lie about.
Especially if you get media to come out, because if you hear, sexual impropriety type story, it's headline news. But when it gets cleaned up, then that's not headline news.
Except for Trump, who was blatantly grab them by the what. It's like, if they support him, they don't care.
Mm-mm. Okay.
So Peggy's asking if it could be the girl from Jersey Shore. What was her name? Snooki?
Snooki?
No, yeah, I think this because she's on his side. This is on federal. Somebody is trying to on, I guess, Oz's side, or like the what do you call them people? The people who put out the negative stories. There's somebody over there who's trying to put him in the headlines as some sort of sexual deviant or somebody who had some sort of impropriety with some woman. Okay. You know what? let's take a side trip for just a second for this one little question. Karen Conroy, who always said Convoy, asked a question I want to ask. She says, will the name Karen ever be taken away from the mean and nasty people? Because she's very sad that her name is being used for ugly people.
I agree, Karen. I agree. I feel so sorry for all the Karens out there that are wonderful.
Every Karen I know I like. So
that's right. Will that Karen logo label ever go away? Just be Karen again, right?
She said, call him Ivanka or something. Why does it have to be Karen?
Yeah, they call him a Monostat Green. I mean, MTG.
Let's see.
Because that's who does the yelling at everybody.
That name ever be taken
Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you, Brandon. Amen.
Call them Trumps.
That's what you really can do. Entitled weirdos.
He's showing here. Call them Trumps. Trump the thief.
Thank you, Karen.
I get yes. but it's like people are kind of bonded with this and messaging, so it needs to be highlighted to people that do it. Like there's a channel on YouTube that I watch their videos that are always playing Karen videos, and it's like, reach out to them and say, can you please stop calling it Karens? Can you call it Trumps or whatever? Because it's like, Trump the thief, somebody going after somebody that it's more of a betrayal. So I get in time, yes, it'll die down, and they'll come up with something else that they present that they use instead. But I don't get it's anytime soon, unfortunately.
I get it'll change, perhaps to something or named after a celebrity in a magazine that's kind of a douchebag. It could be a person named after a flower, so like a daisy, a rosy, a lily, something like that. But it'll change, perhaps to what's her name, or like an Amber Heard or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it could be a celebrity in the magazine, so it'll change and it'll be more conducive to.
And then there'll be another name that's ruined.
I see. I mean, Ivanka is very uncommon. Use Ivanka.
Yeah, use Ivanka or Kardashians. They're vile people too. So make them into the behavior. So.
I get right now it is very strong because it's kind of worked itself into the culture here, so it's kind of steadfast and strong. But however, there is going to be it's in the future, but it is going to have a change. A change is coming. A change is coming. A celebrity or somebody very well off will make this change. So it's kind of like maybe a comedian or something will brand these type of people something else, and then the world will go with that. So it is,
You know what's interesting is like the males they call male Karens. It's like, okay, patriarchal society, you're gonna let us call them male Karens?
They tried to call them Kens, but that didn't work. And so they just call them male Karens, which is still very sexist, because why does it still have to be attributed to a woman name?
Because everything negative has to get attributed to a woman. It's like, all right, enough, because I'm petty. Enough of that.
Okay. Well, we did this stupid fool already. Yeah. Oh, got that. That was on the list. I got that too. I'm off my game here. Okay. So if we could, someone was asking about Beto, will he win and all that. So since the election's not tomorrow, thank you, Beatrice. Yes, why not call them Republicans? Exactly. Since the election's not tomorrow, I'm pretty sure we will be coming back to that question of who wins and blah, blah, blah. So what I want to know now, though, what are the challenges facing Abbott, and then what are the challenges facing Beto?
Challenges for Abbott first. Oh, I just got a cramp in my finger.
The spirit's telling you something.
Challenges for Abbott right on the bottom is image. So the whole thing is whole image. His power over the poor, his kicking people to the curb, because the devil made him do it, his power over the poor.
Alrighty then.
I get just money, like getting enough money. I get he wins and it's a surprise, and then there's going to be treachery. So don't concede, Beto. Don't concede. Make them recount.
For Hot Wheels, I get that he's got a couple of issues. One of them has to do with a lot of negotiations that are going on in regards to something being transported. So and this is also roads. So perhaps blocking roads, or that stunt he was pulling with the trucks coming in from Mexico and causing a huge delay in the entire United States. He's got a couple of issues: roads and transportation. He's got
infrastructure.
Infrastructure. I'm surprised I didn't get energy, but it's showing here he's got multiple issues. There's also a lot of there's some issues here that are going to cause him problems with what has been said. Meetings that were had about how something was mobilized. So I don't know. I only pulled 3, so this could be in regards to the failure of the Uvalde police, but centered to it, it's just a lot of the talk, a lot of negotiations, but he's got several issues, not just one. He's got several.
The failure and cover up in Uvalde.
Yeah. But again, I only pulled 3, but it's showing he's got more than one issue. For O'Rourke, I'm getting his main issue is bureaucratic with the laws that have been changed, but also a key talking point that he can have, because I got key storks and tower. A key thing that he has is pregnancies and the law here with these 3. So I don't know what the idiot over there, Hot Wheels, did with abortion rights or women's rights, but there's something important, significant here: pregnancies and change and the law. So he's got better looking cards than Hot Wheels over here. Beto's look more like it could work in his favor because he's got key. The other dude has got birds sitting right in the middle. That's not good, and it shows more than one issue with him. So
I get support because I get the 3 of Cups as the first card, and then there are people everywhere here, as well as the 10 of Pentacles. So it's probably an image thing. It has something to do with babies, with the 6 of Cups. So there is a huge image problem here. There's also something about the grid, more than likely, because it's my technology card there too. There's also a decision that was not made. I mean, hell, that could be anything because he's the governor. But whatever this is in particularly, and it may have something to do with communities, this decision is also going to be very, because it was not made though. So there was something he was supposed to do that he did not, that they were anticipating.
Like upgrading their electrical grid.
Mm-hmm. There's also, it's also tied to money, this thing. So I don't know if like he was supposed to give some sort of grants or some sort of something, but he didn't do it. And that's also going to be, for whatever reason, a really big deal. Beto has already sort of armed himself with a good starting point by going to his press conference and telling him this could have been avoided, type of thing.
Yeah.
And also, didn't wasn't there something that when Texas froze a couple of years ago, wasn't there that whole scandal that came out after when somebody blew the whistle, that Abbott had contacted the energy company and told them to charge the customers as much as they could, and that's why people were getting bills that were like thousands of dollars.
So community indecision. Okay. Could have been. Well, I mean, use all that. I mean, you're not spoiled. You're spoiled for choice here. So
you just got frozen. People died in their homes. People are paying $7,000, $10,000, $15,000 bills when they don't even have electricity. And you're going to charge him that? You should have a bill that's zero considering you had no power. Like
one of the worst vacations I've ever had in my entire life. Vacation. I was being sentenced is the way I saw it. Was we were taking a road trip with me, my aunt, and my uncle-in-law. We were going from Oklahoma to Arizona, but we stopped in Texas because his family lives in Louisville, Texas. It's like this big. It's got 18 people, something like that. It was, like hot as Satan's butt crack. It was extremely hot. They had no air conditioning and no fan and a dog that didn't like me. And I'm like, I am literally in hell. It's horrible.
I think there were parts of Texas a couple of weeks ago, certain portions in Texas a couple of weeks ago that were out of power because of a heat wave.
Because that's right in there in that Oklahoma, Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas. They get really hot, hotter than you would think they would. And
meanwhile, him and Ted Cruz talking about doors in schools, to prevent these mass shootings and stuff. I don't see him running around replacing all the doors in the schools.
And that slimy fool goes off to Cancun.
Yep. That's something I really would love to come and just drag them to the fiery pits of hell is Ted Cruz. I just can't with that. He's just
go to Texas.
He's so slimy, gross.
Well, don't like him. His kids don't like him. His wife doesn't like him. Nobody likes him.
I know we love our friends and our neighbors up north, the Canadians, but God dang it, come take your trash, dude. Like, take your trash.
Canada, come get your kids.
Yeah, Canada, come get your kids.
We'll keep the comedians and musicians, but take Ted Cruz back. Do us a favor.
For Beto, I get the uphill battle is sort of gaining ground, which is just anything for any candidate, period, which you're not an incumbent. So it's just gaining ground. There is also something about explaining money as well, too. I know he does take a lot of oil money, and he's Texan, so they all do, but still. So there's the explaining of the money. There's also delicate words. He's going to have to. Okay, so here's the thing, too. I say this all the time, and I'll mind you, I'm not running for anything. Actually, it was a guy knocked on the door. I don't get knocks to the door, so it startled me. And I'm like, who's knocking on my door? Because I don't answer the door and I don't answer the phone. But I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to answer this because I'm actually expecting somebody in the next few days. I thought that might have been. So anyway, so I get there and this guy says, I'm blah, 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 running for state representative. And how are you? I'm like, oh, I gave him his thing back. I said, I'm moving, so nothing. Anyway, it's politics of the Uvalde massacre. Somebody is going to, because he's going to use that, and somebody that's going to be to his slight detriment because somebody's saying he's going to politicize the death with weapons. And so
it has to be politicized, though.
I'm saying you got to do it because you had your point was valid. This was preventable. So, anyway, but that's pretty much what I see is just him gaining ground. He's got a lot of avenues to do it. He just needs to get his campaign together. Well, they all do need to get the campaign together and do it. But he also needs some star power or some endorsements too. And for whatever reason, that's coming slowly. So he needs that.
Probably doesn't get a lot of TV airtime and on the local news channels
on the local news channel. Because I was going to say I've seen him a couple of times on like MSNBC and stuff like that, and especially right after Uvalde because Abbott had changed the laws to where anybody, background check, whatever, just a free for all.
He needs Biden and all them people, the Obamas and all them need to come and do their thing. The thing.
You can't own more than 6 dildos in the state of Texas, but you can get any gun at any time with unlimited amounts of ammunition whenever you feel like it without a background check. Because how often do we hear about people being massacred with dildos?
And they actually just created an AR-15 or whatever they're calling it, that's twice as strong as the AR-15 currently. So
Which,
we live in the Wild West. We really do.
buckle up.
Okay. Or I don't know how to say his Orendondo. That was the police chief from the Uvalde school district. Right now, there are people, of course, calling for him to be fired. So will he be fired, or will he just resign, or is he going to say, "This is my job, get over it," or what?
There was somebody else that was elected to the city council or something, and he resigned with pressure put on him.
He was on some board or some committee too. He also resigned. He resigned from that, but he's still police chief. They want him fired though.
School board or city council or whatever it was. All I can say is when they send the moving van to your house, just go quietly in the night. Just go, because otherwise they will take you out kicking and screaming. I'm going to leave it at that. Because he's about to get burdened big.
I asked if he would get fired. I get that there's a lot of loyal support behind him, and he's not moving. He ain't going anywhere. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I don't listen to me. I don't like my cards. I'm overriding my cards.
I wasn't getting that he would get fired, like by whoever's in charge of the police there, whoever has dominion over that. I get he's going to get pushed out, like literally forced out.
He's secure here with the devil and the 9 of Pentacles. This is the reason these come up together, is because he has the opportunity to abuse the situation if he can. So who's going to fire him and that type of thing, and the loyalty and blah blah blah. But something new is coming with him being pushed in the cold. So This may be mounted pressure with the 5 of Swords, so defeated, and then he may just have to accept his fate and say, just for the sake of healing and blah blah blah. They'll kind of let him leave on his own terms and all that, because for whatever reason you can't push him out.
With a nice pension.
Yeah.
With a nice pension and all that stuff. Yeah.
He's smug. His energy is very smug.
Okay. This is not political. I did this reading already. I want to see what y'all get. I'm gonna do it anyway too. Walgreens is in the news because one of their employees refused to sell condoms to a customer on the basis of his faith. Now,
one person at one Walgreens, not the whole chain, right?
One person at one Walgreens. Now, mind you, this person, the customer complained, and Walgreens came back and said, "No, that's right. He didn't violate company policy. He does, on the basis of his faith, he has the right not to sell them to you." So I told this story too. When I lived in Texas, we had the tobacco and alcohol administration thing. Anyway, where if you were 18 at that time, you could not sell alcohol. Or if you were under 21, to say that, you could not sell alcohol. You could work in a place that sold it, but you cannot at the register scan it and sell it. So what would happen is a person would come through with alcohol. You'd step to the side. You still need to watch because it's your register. And then somebody who is of age would do it and blah, blah, blah. So why they just couldn't do that, I don't know. But he said he went and said, now, mind you, the couple is on birth control, but they were out of town and she left it and blah, blah, blah. So they were doing the responsible thing. And he would not sell them on the basis of his faith. Now, also, my brother works for a hospital, and they were passing around, the memo saying that you need to take your COVID shot and all this. And a lot of people were doing it's my faith and I don't want to do it. And then hospitals start releasing the memo that if you take Advil, if you take Tylenol, if you take milk and magnesia, if you take all these different things, because all these things are tested on stem cells. So if you take all of that, you cannot exempt yourself from the COVID shot, because if on the basis of faith you're doing that, you also have to abstain from these other things as well. So Walgreens also sells beer, which should be against your faith. They sell medications, which should be against your. So why is that the one thing that you wanted to stick? I don't know, but
stick your neck out there for it.
The question is, because there's people calling for boycotts, you know how that goes and all that type of thing. Will there be enough pressure for a policy change, or will they stick to their guns on this one? Like, this was not that serious. Just have somebody else bring it up. Oh, what kind of conversation had that been? Yeah, they finally stopped selling tobacco products. I actually worked for Walgreens at the time. They stopped selling. No, CVS at the time. I worked for everybody. And we would get, this was in California, we would get like big containers of cigarettes on our shipments and basically set them to the site to send them back to wherever they go.
Yeah.
Somebody, CVS somewhere sold them.
I don't know a lot of people that are virgins when they get married. So is premarital sex like okay with your faith, but using a condom is not? Like,
let's take it a step further, because these Christians, and I use that word very loosely because they ain't nothing Christ-like about these people. They're bigots
that are over the top.
That are over the top extremists. Let's take it a step further. Let's say I want to go work at a grocery store and I'm a Muslim. Can I refuse to sell you pork? Can I refuse to sell you bacon? Because that's against my religious faith. I don't eat it. So therefore, I don't think you should eat either, because that's my
religious faith.
Yeah. What if I'm Hindu and I don't want to sell you burgers? Like, I mean, you're opening up a can of worms. But the only thing these people lash onto is sex. It's like, why are you so obsessed with sex? Like, what?
and pushing their viewpoint and their life choices on everybody else. Learn some tolerance. Like, there are a lot of things I wouldn't do, but I will support you if that's what you want to do.
and here's another thing too. This is why I can't stand the holier than thou, and this is against my faith business. Like, I went to a church. Freudian slip. I went to a church. And the little boy there, like 16, 15 something. He had a job where he stocked shelves at the grocery store, and he wouldn't stock the beer because it was against his faith. And the shift leader was telling him, no, you have to do it. But the manager overrode and said, no, he doesn't have to do it. It's against his faith, blah, blah, blah. My whole thing has always been and will remain, why work there in the first place? Why are you working for a place that sells something that goes against your faith? You want to know why? Because you still want money and you live on an earth where things exist. So you're telling me at the age of 16, you don't have any impure thoughts. You ain't got no magazine under your mattress. You ain't got, so can we comb over your life and see what goes against your faith, your own faith, by your own rules? Anyway, soapbox over. Go ahead.
If I was Walgreens, like they have things when you hire into retail. You have to be able to lift a box that weighs 50 pounds or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have certain things. I'd be like, you have to be able to sell birth control and alcohol and blah, 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 blah. And I would lay the law down. And it's like, we're a retailer and we make money from this that pays your salary.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to sell this, how about we don't give you a paycheck this week?
Don't work here.
And here's
don't
the
work
thing.
here in a place that sells it if you don't want to sell it.
And here's another thing. How many people work at Walgreens nationwide that come from a faith that comes from a dry country, Muslims and all these other things? They probably still have a job selling. Are they doing it? No. But that doesn't mean that it's against their religion or their faith to sell it to somebody else. You know what I mean? It's like, but it's always the sex with these people, you guys. It's always the
You can go flip burgers and not have to worry about condoms.
Yes.
There are other jobs you can do. I'd be kicking their butts out. It's like they're going to reap what they sow on this if they're not careful, because they're trying to cling to families, and keep the families coming in there because that's their customer base, right? So I get they're working on this and they're looking into this. This may have to come to an end, but they're trying to defend this person, like it's their right. So I don't know.
If you're that religious and you want to go to work in a place where you feel you're religious,
go work for a Christian bookstore.
Go work for Chick-fil-A. Go work for Chick-fil-A. They like to shove their religion.
Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby.
Hobby Lobby too. Yeah, they don't sell condoms there, and they love to shove their religious beliefs down everybody's throats. That might be a better fit. I get that if they haven't already changed, they will be very shortly. I got the clover, bouquet, and stork. So there's a change. They're either walk it back or they change it real quick.
So I get the Tower King of Cups. There's going to be some exposure when it comes to faith because of petty people like me, more than likely. Because, mind you, if there's tabloids at the check stand, are you selling gossip? Is that not against your faith? So you don't look at it that way because you're so fixated, like Becca said, on sex. So you sell the gossip. I bet you'll sell beer too. And I bet you when you hit 21 and you got a hair on your chin, you're going to want one of those too.
They'll sell the gossip about sex. Who's having sex with who?
The Five of Swords and the Sun. There's going to be some force changes here. I think that it might be lip service and they may not change something written, but that can change too, mind you. They could, because it's going to affect the bottom line. So there is going to be some sort of new training or new something here at work. There is going to be something there, and it may conflict with some people, but the same way you came in here is the same way you can leave out of here. So this brings up it brings up a question inside of my head. Is it these religious extremists? Zealots. These zealots are they? Because we know that they're a very minority of this country, a very small minority of this country. They're less than a third, but they, like Johnny says, they scream the loudest, so they get the most attention. And I'm just wondering, like, are corporations and companies going to get to the point where they're going to feel like they're walking on eggshells because these religious extremists, if anything, they are organized as well. So they can always say, oh, that's my religious, you're stomping on, my amendment or whatever, my religious freedom amendment, whatever, yada, yada, yada. And they're just afraid of ridiculous lawsuits. But at the same time, it's like you can't let these people just steamroll you, because then you might as well apply it to everything else,
In small town America, it's funny because I worked for a discounter at one time, and small town America, like, there's less and less tolerance. So if they have one person complain, like at the checkout area where you have the magazines, if Cosmopolitan had a very voluptuous woman on it, scantily clad or something that month, they would make them put a card over it so that you would only see Cosmopolitan. You wouldn't see what was on the cover, so that those people that were offended didn't have to see it. They still do that. Yes. It's like, okay, a few extreme people threatening to not shop there in little bitty towns, will
got to ruin it for everybody else.
Got to ruin it for everybody. And everybody jump through hoops to appease them. It's like, go shop somewhere else. Try to find some place that doesn't sell that magazine.
Again, the sex. It's always the sex. Remember when there was a huge scandal years ago when the religious crazies were going nuts, going after nursing mothers because they were nursing their kids out in public? Mm-hmm. You're sexualizing it. You are the one that's sexualizing that act. God gave us for a reason, to feed our children. You're the one that's sexualizing it. You know, it's like they sexualize everything. Seriously, you need help.
Because I mean, if you go out in public and you go to the beach and it's somebody bigger than me out there and he's a man and he's got boobs to his ankles, you gonna tell him to put a shirt on too?
You're gonna tell every woman on the beach that's wearing a bikini to go get dressed. You know, it's like if you left these people would be no different than Saudi Arabia. You know.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all wear burqas and go to the beach.
Speaking of programmed thinking, okay, where is that?
I have to laugh about it. You know, the ones that would complain about a woman in a bikini on the beach is probably also wearing like leggings with the thong going up her butt crack.
The people that would be complaining about women going to the beach in bikinis are people you don't want to F anyways. Okay, same with the anti-abortionists. People don't want to F anyway. So,
Actually, we won't do that. Yes, let's go here.
They don't look in a mirror often. This is all I'm going to say.
A quick yes, no, because there's a follow-up to this. Will Donald Trump be federally indicted for anything?
Federally.
Yes. Not necessarily convicted, just indicted for anything.
Can I get another yes card? I get, you know, the whole family does. Like surprises, like the whole family. I get all the yes cards. The betrayal of the loss to Biden. So the big election lie. And how he manipulated things and the lies that he told it. The big lie, and the fake electors, that kind of thing. So I get a yes. It's gonna take a while though. Like they got to work out all the details to make sure everything is worked out. It's gonna take quite a while.
And Jenny, may I please remind you, keep adding on to the crimes that he continues to commit as he continues to call states trying to overturn the election that happened over a year and a half ago.
Just last week in Wisconsin. Hello, can you overturn your electoral vote? Ring, ring. I know they just talked about in the committee hearing, but you know, ring, ring.
Yeah.
Didn't even have a go-between on that one. Direct calling himself.
I mean, I get yes. I get man, lilies, and key. That's a yes. But with the lilies right there, this is not something that happens today, next week, next month, 2 months from now. This needs time to mature. So yes, it needs a gestation period. So, but I get a yes.
Well, good. I get a maybe. I just fell out twice. So here's the follow-up question then. What are the signs we are nearing the time Donald Trump will be federally indicted? What should we be looking for? Birds falling out of the sky, Mitch McConnell falling up the steps again. What are the signs it's about to happen?
We haven't done a question like this in a while. I love this science question. used to do this a lot. Separate these up because they get all clustered together again. That betrayal of the big lie. Trying to retain power. I'm getting weird answers. I get as children gaslighting about something and it blows up in their face. So like whether it's on Twitter or something, like something his kids are messaging that just blows up big time in social media. So watch for that. I get Trump himself communicating that he has changed his support for somebody on the Supreme Court. His support for a judge is what I'm getting. Like he comes out and says, I don't support Kavanaugh, or I don't support Amy Coney Barrett, or I get there's illumination on the lie, and where it was created from. So maybe that's another January 6th hearing where they get to the base of that lie. And I don't know what this is telling me. It's almost like somebody gets drunk on a trip and bullies somebody, and it's going to make the news. So like whether it's a celebrity or politician or something, somebody's traveling and gets drunk and beats somebody up. But they're under the influence.
Someone said that the former guy may be put under house arrest and detained, and he may not even know about it. I'm pretty sure you have to know that you're being put on house arrest. That's how the law works. They have to notify. They can't just be like, you just don't tell him he's under house arrest.
You have an ankle bracelet on.
Yeah. So I don't know who's saying that, but I would say that would be incorrect. That's not how it works, you know? I get the book, The My Stars, Heart, and Cross. I get that once we learn the details, or once we learn about the team and how widespread it was on what they were desiring, that's when the punishment comes. So there's a team of people or secrets that are missing, or knowledge about the details of how widespread this was. So perhaps I could read this Pip as a person, the King of Hearts. So it's like, I don't know if this would be like a John Eastman, or who's the other guy that was on Ari Melber that was basically admitting his crimes? The white-haired guy, Navarro, or the Jeffrey Clark or somebody like that. It's like once the details of that happens, once they suffer, then do you see what I'm saying? Like, so, and so far, to my knowledge, those people have only had their stuff taken by the FBI or another federal agency, but that's what I'm getting.
I get here there is some sort of argument or fight that lands someone in recuperation. We do see this might be public, kind of like there is a guy running for something. He's a Trumper too. Lee, I wrote his name down, Lee something. Lee Zeldin. He was attacked by a person in the audience who had like one of those rings on with the spikes and all that. So it's something like that, but someone gets attacked and there's recuperation afterwards. There's also something about a frost in the US. So there's some sort of frost, like a really major big cold snap
going across multiple states.
And it's a big frost. So it's like it's anticipated though with the Four of Cups. So it's not like it's going to happen in Arizona or somewhere odd. It's anticipated, but around the time of the frost is what it is. There's also a person getting out of incarceration. This high profile person. It's not necessarily bad, like Manafort or something. It's just a person high profile is getting out of incarceration because of bail. And this does kind of bring up a talk about bail at that time too, because this person possibly should not have been able to bail themselves out and so forth, where the bail should have been set so high that they couldn't or something like that. But it's high profile and they get out. But that's what I get. Now I have one more question. It's okay. It's serious, but we're going to keep it light if we could. Okay.
Keep it light or keep it petty, Johnny. Because yes. Jenny's got the shirt. It says petty.
Petty, period.
There's a dude, bro. There he is. So handsome here. His name is Jim Gord. He is a scientist with the Air Force. He is a scientist in the Air Force Research Laboratory of Propulsion and something, right? So he tricks the contractor that has hired him into hiring this woman who is actually a prostitute. And instead of him paying her,
he gets the contractor to pay this woman to work with him, so he gets like free sex all the time.
Yes.
Are you effing kidding me right now? You
because he got a friend of his. He got a friend of his.
Are you effing kidding me right now?
Well, I mean, it's not much different from Gates Venmoing money through Goldberg, is it?
Oh, did that even happen?
Does she understand dress code?
So he urged the lab contractor and a friend to hire this woman based upon her fraudulent resume in 2017, mind you. He also moved federal funding around to pay her salary and named her the chair of the scientific panel on engine and rocket technology.
And she was
don't you know he was paying her a six-figure salary so he could have lots and lots.
That's not to say prostitutes are intelligent people, but her resume was fake. She was not anywhere near qualified to be on the chairperson of a scientific panel on engine and rocket technology.
It's like Melania getting the Einstein visa, though.
So she had a fraudulent resume.
A job as a rocket scientist?
Basically. So he got his friend and the laboratory to give her this job, this very high-profile, high-paying job. It was basically, what do you call it when it's a figurehead position? But anyway, She was basically there just to sit because she was his personal escort. And so
So they could go on business trips together.
the government was paying for his escort. So what's going to happen to him? That's what I want to know.
Oh my God, is her name Lauren Boebert?
Right now they're saying she's unnamed. I'm like, okay. Oh,
Wait,
God.
so what's the question?
What's going to happen to him? Because the warrant has been unsealed. That's why this story.
So it's government money that
they moved federal money around in order to have her sit as the chairperson of the Rocket Technology
government
Association.
Money paying for a sex worker. Yeah.
She was making $400 an hour.
Oh, my legal card just flew out. He's going to court. He's going to court.
No, mind you, he was paying her. When he was paying her $400 an hour. That's
yes.
What the story was.
I guarantee you she's got a 6-figure salary so he can have all the hoochie coochie he wants. Gonna have a meeting in your office in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, scientist for the Air Force, and you risk it all for an escort. Like, what is wrong with you? Thinking with the wrong head, as they say.
I cannot believe.
Yeah, let's put Stormy Daniels in as Trump's first lady next time. It'd probably be better than Melania.
Oh, jeez. I can't with this.
Ooh, he's not the only man that used her.
Nope.
Ooh, there was sharing. There was
And there's
sharing.
And there's more than her, too. That's what I'm getting. There's more than
dear God in heaven.
There's some party, some inviting people to some little parties. Yeah, clinging. I bet so. Yeah, there she is. The lovers. She got a lot of attention around the office in the past here, but yeah, looking into this, yeah, there's more than one woman. There's parties going on. There's there's more. There's multiple men. She was shared. She was shared.
Yep.
Yeah, little collaborations. Yeah, 3 ways. Yeah, his days are over. He's like done there. He's done. I'm not getting legal cards, but he's done there. But there was some sharing.
He's gonna rat everybody out. I got the lilies, the birds, the snake, the bear, and crossroads. He's gonna rat everybody out. There's more. It's more than just him. There's a couple of men that met and talked to this woman, and it's not just her. There's several women, and how they negotiated money, resources. But he's going to rat everybody out. Executives with the bear, senior higher up people with the lilies, but it's not. He's gonna rat everybody out. More than one woman, and more than just him and his little buddies. I'm talking higher up, high level. Because how in the hell do you get a federal contract as a scientist and you're paying?
I mean, his boss in one conversation with her would know. So his boss had to be aware.
Yeah.
It said he tricked, is what the headline said. But he urged a lab contractor and friend to hire the woman based upon her fraudulent resume.
Nope. That's not what I'm saying. Once they start,
the links they will go to.
Hey, dude, Pornhub is free, man. Pornhub is free. Come on, dude.
I mean, and you for that type of job, you got to work a long time and really hard to be some scientist for the Air Force. You're gonna throw it away for?
But you know,
What?
some
Johnny,
of
why did they
their
even put out her referrals or her references
This
for that
this
level of
see?
position? It
Some
goes
of
into
these-
diarrhea contracts, which is fucking a whole nother issue with the contracts, because it's not just them dealing with it. It has to go through a DAWIA process, DAWIA. So it's
Yeah.
not just him.
but
Because it's not
these-
even holding up to your questioning. So you know there's some inside people who just rushed it right on through.
there's a lot of people that they get addicted to their escorts and they spend too much. And when it's hitting a certain salary level and you can't hide it from the wife, thank you, me, myself, and I, and you can't hide it, and it's eaten into your paycheck and you can't pay your bills, then sure, let the government pay for your escort.
He said he loves her, and she says she loves him. So now it's a relationship.
Well, go ahead, Mary. Don't go to the government and spend the rest of your life in federal prison for fraud.
For a fraud.
Frauding the government.
I
Both
get
of you.
the Chariot and the Five of Cups. There's going to be a lot of turmoil and regrets, naturally, because this is going to cause a lot of trouble. The Chariot, you have to get everything on the same page, and it's not going to work. There's a lot of regrets. Now, mind you, the Five of Cups also tells you have something left. So while you have no job and no future, you still have your escort, because she ain't got one either. So well, maybe she still does, because she can still make money. I don't know about you. There's the Moon and the Seven of Pentacles. So his future is still kind of uncertain as far as what else is about to come out, because something else is still growing under the ground here. So this in particular story is not over with the Moon and the Seven of Pentacles. Something else is still coming. There's the Temperance and the Five of Wands. So there's going to be some arguments, some bickering, some fighting over what the working, the back and forth, the quid pro quo, because it's not that she just got this big high paying job. There was a process of fraud and trickery to get her there. So that's going to be a lot of fighting. So,
And this is why they cannot outlaw condoms.
And on top of that, don't think he's
And
the only
common
one going to
sense.
be in trouble. She is too, because she knew she was committing the fraud right alongside him. So it's not just her boyfriend taking the hit. You taking the hit too, girl.
so that's all we got for y'all today. I think that's enough, don't you?
That blew my mind. That blew my mind. Considering the checkpoints for contracts, federal contracts. How in the hell did that even happen?
Expeditiously. That's
Wow.
so. Next week we will be on Jen Lynn's channel, as I told y'all earlier before the Fluffy Butt Parade. I won't be here for the next few streams on the Friday or the Sunday, but I'll return at some point.
Lena will be with us next week, and anybody that missed the Fluffy Butt Parade at the beginning, go back and watch the
Back to the
beginning.
beginning.
All the kittens and all their names.
So we will see y'all. Do you have a Sacred Sounds of Coffee coming up?
Not till first Monday of August, and it'll be on Jody's channel. Anybody that wants to book a reading with me can go to jinlintarot.com and support the new feline family that's growing.
You know what? I just got a text from Allie. She's letting me know that Air Force scientist, he died last year.
That's 2017 with the Jim Gord. That's when it came out. The recently released warrant is what details his scheme. So that's probably why y'all getting all those other people, because these details have just come out or just made public.
Oh, okay.
Dodged a bullet on that one. So we'll see y'all next week or sometime. Bye-bye.
Bye.